Hello guys. Today we're gonna be speaking about something English speakers sometimes tend to have a difficult time with, which is Spanish. Um, I'm particularly talking about how Spanish is a really varied language, unlike some people would have us think. If you see any, well, pretty much any United States series or film, and there's someone speaking Spanish, chances are they are Mexican or have a Mexican accent, which, well, I can understand within the United States. It does not make sense when they make a film about Spain or South America or yeah, yeah. First off, I need to clarify basically. There are many different accents of Spanish, pretty much like English. However, there's two main categories we can talk about. We have Spain's Spanish, which we call Castellano, and we have Latin American Spanish, which we call Latinoamericano or Latino. And there's even within those regions, the dialect or accent can be really varied. For instance, I'm going to talk mainly about Spain because it's the region I know the most about, and also probably one or two cases about um, the differences in Latin America. And the main difference you are going to find in Spain regarding Spanish is the north-south division. You can pretty much tell if someone is from the north of Spain or from the south of Spain. Pretty much, if I had to compare it with anything else, you can compare it with a Londoner with a Scotsman. You can tell them apart rather quick. However, just like in England and Scotland, there's many different sub-dialects and accents, and it can be a little bit difficult to pin down where exactly a person is from, unless you've actually been speaking Spanish for a time now and known people from different regions in Spain. I also need to notice that in some places of Spain, there's literally no accent. For instance, no accent. There generally tends to be no particular local accent. For instance, in the Balearic Islands, in Catalonia as well, there is little to no Spanish accent. You can make it more Catalanized, which I guess it's a way of making it sound more Catalan. However, that tends not to be the case, and most Catalan speakers can speak standard Spanish. So if you're looking for standard Spanish in Spain, probably that's your best bet because even the capital Madrid has no standard Spanish. It's Madrileño, which has a few elements that are different to the rest of the peninsula. So yeah, even within Spain, which is comparatively to the United States a rather small country, even if it's bigger than the UK, um, there is some variation. Moving to South America, no, not Latin America, sorry, it just happens to be mostly South America, but you obviously also have Central and Central America and Mexico, and some parts of the United States. It's a little bit more difficult to separate people from there, unless you're a local. In my case, I am not a local, so um, if I had to compare two, which are really easy to distinguish, it's Argentino and Mexicano. Um, yeah, it's really I'm saying it in a really stereotypical way, and I do not mean any disrespect. I'm just portraying um the stereotypical accent someone from that region will have. And the thing is, if I had to describe Argentinian Spanish, it's pretty much Spanish spoken with a false Italian accent. It's the best way I can describe it, and then it's pretty much from there on it's vocabulary. And Mexican, I believe I do not have to make any description. And if you do not know how it sounds, just look for some United States film that includes a Spanish speaker. chances are it's going to be a Mexican speaker. Otherwise, it's the false accent people say Spanish people have. I do not know where this came from. It's probably just during the colonial period there was this accent that was a mix of different accents, and then it sounded pretty much like in the films. I do not know. But pretty much no one speaks like that except for actors. So if you find a Spanish rather sensual accent, it tends to be artificial, sadly. Spanish people, when they talk English, if they still have a Spanish accent, does not sound well. You could do. I would recommend doing some YouTube search for a video where they portray Spanish students learning English, and you pretty much get the idea really quick. So yeah, Spanish, much like English, much like pretty much any language that spans a few different regions, has a lot of variation. And I'm just basically making this video so people can start to realize more often that there's more than one accent to Spanish. And yeah, it's basically that. If I had to compare it to anything else, it's like it's like English. I'm just going to mention that because most people can understand that analogy, but there's plenty of different other languages that do it. Chinese does it, German does it, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, pretty much any language has a few different accents to it. So just to be a little bit more conscious about it, if you look at a Spanish person and you ask them to speak English, do not expect them to have a really sensual accent unless they prepared it for a really long amount of time. So yeah, if you have any questions about regarding Spanish from Spain or from Latin America, do leave them in the comments below. I will let you know though that most of my reading, writing, and watching films and series is from Castilian Spanish, so it's from Spain proper. Spanish, if you will. So if you have questions about Latin America, you probably are better off asking someone that is from that particular region. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.